Welcome to Sober Talk. I'm Dennis and I'm an alcoholic. Sober today thanks to Alcoholics Anonymous. If you or anyone you know is struggling with alcohol, please call Alcoholics Anonymous on 1300 222222 or visit their website at aa.org.au. I'll just run through the preamble of Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of people who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problems and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for a membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. It is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses or opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety.
G'day friends, my name's Sebastian and I'm an alcoholic, sober today, thanks God, and been asked to do this talk in the hopes that my message might be able to help another alcoholic, at least give them, another perspective. So yeah, I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous 17 years ago or so, in 2008, the 11th of September 2008, and I haven't been able to stay sober that whole time, but most of that time I've been sober, and I've just kept coming back, and yeah, currently just over 3 years of sobriety, which is the longest I've ever had. And yeah, every day is a gift for me. I'll tell you the story a little bit about how I ended up in that first meeting, and yeah, what it was like and what happened and what it's like now. So I'd always struggled, terrifyingly self-conscious kid, pretty disturbed, and yeah, just I didn't feel like I fit in at all with anyone. Always really struggled to make, connections with other kids, and yeah, enjoyed a lot of time spent in my own mind, in fantasy, reading books, and just, daydreaming maybe might be the word for it. Drifting off and just living in my own head, I suppose. I recognize that I might have had some issues with overeating, and particularly using sugar to medicate those feelings, sometimes feeling, really troubled, and how I've heard many people since being in Alcoholics Anonymous describe it as dis-ease. I felt at dis-ease, and anyway, I just muddled my way through life. I mean, I could go into my whole backstory. I don't think I want to do that right now. Maybe in another time. But I'd been seeing this lady, and who I'd met on an online dating site, and she had 3 children, and we I cared about her, and she cared about me, and she had 3 children, and I was drinking, and she didn't want that around her kids, and more specifically, I was smoking weed, and she didn't want that around her kids, and fair enough. And I told her, oh yeah, I'll stop, and I really did want to. I really did, like the intention of mine was to stop, and well, I just couldn't do it. So, and I found myself, sneaking drinks and sneaking smoking marijuana, thinking that she wouldn't know. As if, I suppose, like a lot of alcoholics, we somehow believe that what we do, the whole world doesn't actually know that we've got a problem, when I think most, if not all, the people that are really close to us at our work, or friends and family and other people we interact with, they all know. We're not kidding anyone. But I made a promise to her, and we were on again and off again, and in the end, it just didn't work out, and I kind of had this. I kind of had an emotional breakdown, and at a certain point, she told me to go and get some counselling, and I did go in. I did go in to see the counsellor, which was, there was a place called, I think it's called By Allah. This was in Brisbane. They have a health services place there, and a needle exchange downstairs, and I went in and talked to the doctor, and left basically with him telling me, well, if you don't think you've got like, I told him, I don't think I've really got a problem here. And he said, well, if you don't think you've got a problem, then that's okay. And off I went. And this was, I don't know, a month or two before the relationship dissolved completely. And anyway, but he did mention at the end as well that they had this men's group. It wasn't an AA meeting, but it was this men's group that he facilitated. So let men talk about their feelings and emotions and whatever was going on for them, and just happened to be on a Thursday night. And my drinking, my drugs, and I was having this emotional breakdown. My drinking and drugs was out of control, and I was living beyond my means, and always running out of money, and not having enough money to keep drinking, and I just completely broke down one day when I came home I told myself, I'm not going to do this anymore when I get home and from work. And I came home one day, and I went inside, and I just was rocking myself backwards and forwards, and I didn't have any money to get any drinks or drugs, and I thought it just happened to be a Thursday, and it popped into my head, if I don't, I was thinking about ending my life and throwing myself in front of a train, and because I'll take the train to work, and I'd be, standing on the platform in the morning waiting for the train and thinking, oh, what if I just throw myself in front of this train? And anyway, it was a Thursday, and this thought popped into my head, oh, what about this men's group? So I got in my car, and I drove like a maniac to this place, which was very close to where I worked. I jumped out, and I kind of went to the counter. Oh, there's a men's meeting here. I knew I needed to talk to someone. I knew I needed help, and I never really, reached out for help before. Anyway, so I went in there, and I said, is there a men's meeting? Where is it? What's going on? And they told me, oh, the guy's gone home. Nobody showed up, so the psychologist or the counselor or whatever went home. And my heart sank a little bit, and I thought, oh, this is no good. And I don't know, I was still wanting to talk to someone, and I went to the needle exchange guy downstairs, and said I was looking for a men's meeting. It's not here. I must have been insane, because I don't know. But anyway, the guy just, the most casual thing, as if this had happened to him every single day. Like it was just nothing to him. He just casually pointed to the wall of brochures and pamphlets that they had in the needle exchange, and said, oh, have you tried Alcoholics Anonymous? And I said, no, what's that? And he said, "Oh, that's these people go there when they, they've got a problem with addiction and alcoholism and stuff." I said, "All right," and then I walked over, and for him, it was so nonchalant and it, like it wasn't a big deal. And I'm like, "All right," then, and I got the pamphlet, and I was a meetings list, and I looked up the meeting, and there was a meeting starting down the road. So, but it was already it was getting later, and I jumped in my car and drove like a maniac to this place where the meeting was on, and I was struggling to find it. It was like out the back of this neighborhood center, and I couldn't find it. But I was, at this point, I was literally frantic at this point, wanting to, I need to talk to someone, and I was in, what I want to get help. I need help. And so anyway, I did find it, and the meeting had already started, and it just happened to be a men's meeting. And I walked around the back of this community center, and the guys were all sitting in the room with the light turned off and like a candle or a soft light somewhere, and they're all in a circle, like a big circle. And it was a totally packed room. And one of the guys by the glass door saw me approaching, and opened the door and said, "Come in." And there was only one seat available, and it was right on the other side of the room. So the meeting was going, and people were sharing, and I had to walk through everyone kind of looking at me, and I felt really uncomfortable. And then I sat down, and yeah, these people, these guys, they were talking about me and how I felt. And I just immediately, I started to get that feeling that you get when you go into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. You start to unwind and relax, and and tune into the very moment that's happening right then, and forget about all the all the others, the madness in your head and all the voices in your head, and the past that isn't here anymore, and the future that's not, or the past that's gone, and the future that isn't here yet. And yeah, I just knew that this was for me. And yeah, a lot of the guys, they tried to question me, what's happening. And I'm not good with socially with people, but I told them a little bit, and they just basically, they gave me their numbers, and they said, just keep coming back. And so I did. And I did meetings. That's all I did. I did meetings and meetings, and they told me to do 90 meetings in 90 days. So I did. And at that time, I was still working. On the weekends, I would do 2 and 3 and 5 meetings, because I was really, really lost and really, really broken. And yeah, I made the mistake of, well, and it was good, and it was good, and I'd never felt so happy. I'd never like it when I was a kid. Again, I can remember, so there was times where I was really happy, and I felt like that. I was like this pink cloud that they talk about. Anyway, I was probably pretty insane, and I thought it was a good idea. I tried to kind of get advice and have a sponsor, but wasn't really working at that point. And I took it upon myself to try and make amends one night. I was about I think I was just over 9 months, and I pulled up outside my place where I was staying at the boarding house in Brisbane, and I contacted this ex-partner that I I was saying, and I cried my eyes out to her. I said, "I'm so sorry. I've got a problem. I'm doing something about it. I'm going to Alcoholics Anonymous, and things are getting better for me." And I left it at that, but I was on the phone with her for about, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes. And I thought I was doing the right thing, and I think I was doing the right thing. The problem was I wasn't ready for, the emotional entanglement that comes with an intimate relationship, and yeah, the things that would happen. So a weekend later, I was at a meeting, and I get a text message from her saying, I miss the intimacy, the physical intimacy that we had together. It was a little bit more blunt than that, but I'll censor it for the kids. And I missed the physical intimacy, and not I care about you and how you're doing and your emotional and spiritual well-being. It was like, oh, I miss that part. And I pulled someone. I was out of my mind then, and I pulled someone aside, and unfortunately they gave me the wrong advice, which was just the advice I was looking to hear. And I said, "Oh, I got this message. I get this. I made amends, and now I've got this message saying, this and that, and plan to go around and see her." And unfortunately, the person that I spoke to told me just what I wanted to hear, which was, if you think you can handle it, then go around and see her. And I didn't need any more encouragement than that. And so I got in my car and I went round and saw her, and we got back together for a short time, and it didn't work out. And because I changed, and yeah, and it just didn't work out. No, I couldn't handle it. So I lost my sobriety because of that. And then I came back. I don't know, I must have been, yeah. I even sat in my car. I even called someone before I relapsed, knowing that was the right thing to do. And I was crying my guts out because this lady and he had separated again. And I called someone, and I was crying my guts out, and I was about to drink. And they said, don't do that. And I'd already in my mind decided I was going to do that. And felt tremendously sorry for myself, I suppose. And interestingly, came back to recovery. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't long. Maybe a week or 2 weeks. I came back to recovery and just did meetings again every day. And 6 months later again, I contacted her again, and we did that, and exactly the same thing happened. And so when they talk about in Alcoholics Anonymous, doing the same thing, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. I mean, that's exactly what it was. And anyway, how long have I been talking for now, Dennis?
About 80 minutes. Couple
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
No, keep going.
Keep going. Anyway,
What it's like now.
sure. Anyway, so I learned my lesson about my capacity to handle. Sorry, I've started. Yeah, it can edit this out anyway, can't it?
Yeah.
But yeah. So but then I knew how fragile I was in relation to codependency, and I knew that my troubles were, I was only just starting to understand the nature of my alcoholism and things that caused it, and background, past trauma and family history and all these things. And I knew that, basically the only way I was ever gonna have a chance to move forward was to just put myself in the middle of Alcoholics Anonymous and keep trying and keep doing heaps of meetings and learning more about myself and reading the literature and trying to unpack stuff and put the steps into my life. And somewhere along the way, I understood that what the big book talks about when it says that if we just concentrate and focus on the spiritual aspect, the dimension, the spiritual area or dimension of our lives, then all the other stuff will fall into place. And that seems to be the thing that has proven to be true again and again and again. Because when I have thought, oh, this is what I'll do, I'll make a plan, I'll go to university and do this, or I'll go to TAFE and I'll do this and become an apprentice chef, or I've got an idea, I've got a great idea, I've got a plan, and I go and push that and go and try and achieve that or do that. It's really, it hasn't been right for me, and it hasn't worked, and I've ended up one way or another, firstly emotionally relapsing, and then followed up by actually drinking again. And it's tough to admit when you're wrong, but that's what's happened. That's what had to happen for me, and I'm glad about that. I take great comfort in that, and knowing that in admitting that I'm wrong and surrendering, and actually, being powerless. Basically, I see it as take the word alcohol out of step 1 and insert the word everything, because that's basically what I'm powerless. So I can't even necessarily control my own thoughts and emotions and reactions on at times in given situations. So I just have to stay close to the program. And I'm truly thankful to God for all the blessings that I have in my life. There's a lot more to share, but I think I'll leave it there, and good luck, and I hope you stay sober, and you can do it if you want it. Thank you so much.
AA has more than 2 million recovering alcoholics throughout the world. In Australia, there are about 18,000 members. They meet in over 2,000 local meetings spread around the country. Meetings range in size from a handful in some areas to hundreds or more in larger communities. And once again, if anyone you know is struggling with alcohol issues, please call Alcoholics Anonymous in 1300 222222 or visit their website on aa.org.au.